Be blunt about it, but what happened between the first period and the next 40 minutes?
Oh, well, in a sarcastic kind of way, Jeff, they scored more goals than we did. Uh, the interesting thing about you look at the game is the fact that where the shots were 47-26. So you look at the 47 shots being as a positive. We want to have a shooter's mentality team. We want to get over 30 shots a game. We accomplished that. Unfortunately, the breakdowns that we had were pretty high grade. And the shots that they made, to be honest with you, Jeff, they were some pretty good shots. And so that was a difference in the game there.
All right, Elaine.
So I know it's your first game, and you probably learned a lot watching some of these young guys. Would you perhaps break up some of those defensive pairings tomorrow?
Well, we'll certainly take a look at the game tonight, and it's a quick turnaround for us. But I think every time you get to watch your kids, like, we don't know them very well, and now the rubber's hit the road. And we'll look at the game, and both young Matt will look at how the young defenseman played, and we'll take a look at that. We'll look at the forwards. We won't overload them too much tomorrow with the information that we want to give them, because we want to get ready for our next opponent, Grand Rapids. So we'll give them intel on our opponent. We'll look at what we can take from tonight's game and give that back to them on Monday and early to next week, so we can make improvements. But it starts for us right now. And in some ways we did some good things, and others we didn't. At the end of the day, you lost, and that's never much fun.
Elaine, you're up next.
Okay. Hi, Coach. Tonight you kind of got a taste of what the Central has been going through with the amount of aggression and controlled emotion that you guys have going on, fights and a lot of pushing and shoving. How do you plan on using that to your advantage this season, knowing that you guys are going to see each other a lot? How are you going to use that to your benefit?
Well, one of the things you talk about as an athlete is your emotional control. It's fuel, but it needs to be controlled. And every one of those athletes in that locker room knows that, and we talk about it. And it's just something that, as a real good athlete, a high-level athlete, it's something that you need to have in your repertoire. And as we get going through these games, it'll be something that'll be talked more than once, probably.
Okay, go ahead, Andrew.
Hi, Coach. Just a quick question. With such a quick turnaround like you talked about, how do you get the team ready to play a completely different opponent 24 hours later? What's kind of going to be like the keys to get ready for a different team so fast?
Well, the first key, Andrew, is right now what they're doing. They've got to jump on the bike and kind of flush their system a little bit of what's going on there, get rid of some of that stiffness, do an ice bath if that's what you do, stretch out a little bit, go home tonight and replenish with good fluids and have a good meal, have a good night's sleep. We won't bring them into the rink tomorrow per se, so that'll save some energy. We're going to have a Zoom tomorrow morning, and we'll give them a pre-scout, give them that intel on our next opponent so they can start thinking about that. Then they come in and get ready to play. One thing about a quick turnaround is that we don't have to travel, and we'll in some ways our bodies will still be warm because we haven't fully recovered.
All right, Jeff, I saw your hand next.
Could you just assess the way Brad played? I don't think all those goals were his fault, but how do you think he played?
Oh, I think, all in all, he did a decent job. It's kind of been an interesting summer for Brad. Like, I'm not really quite sure how much he thought he was going to play. Am I coaching this year? Am I going to be the third goalie? These are things that he had to work through this summer, and then getting called to camp. And there's been a lot of roller coasterness, if I can use that term, with Brad. But he made some great saves. And once again, the breakdowns that we left them alone, there was too many of them. And some of the shots they made were like crossbar and down. About, I can remember 3 or 4 of them. So credit their shooting. But overall, Brad competed for us, and he made some good stops.
All right, we'll do one more here with Elaine.
So the season started finally for you guys. How did it feel, though, to just be out there in front of the fans?
Right away during warmups, the assistant coaches came back and said, there's quite a few people out there, and the guys haven't been in front of anybody. And so that was really a pleasant surprise. And With a lot of goals, I hope the fans were entertained. Would have liked to have more goals on our side, but it's entertaining when the puck's going in the net. So hopefully the word will get out that we're back, and it could be a way that people can get out and see some entertainment and be around other people.